Ready?
Yes, but I only have time for a quickie.
Let's go.
Ready.
This is Alex J. Aguiar, and you're listening to a Pod With Me Quickie. On today's Quickie, first impression mistakes. Yes, when we meet someone for the very first time, we want to make the best impression possible. But some people just don't know how. Here are some tips on things you should not do when you first meet someone. Constantly checking your phone or watch. Have you ever been annoyed when you're out with somebody or your friends and they just don't stop looking at their watch or their phone? It's annoying, right? Because it makes you feel like you're not interesting enough or fun enough to be next to. Well, this is something you should not do when you first meet someone. See, it gives a sense of feeling that you'd rather be somewhere else and you're not really interested in being there with whomever you're with. Leaning back. What do I mean by leaning back? Leaning back on your chair. Your posture. See, leaning back on your chair is actually a negative form of body language. Experts say you should end a meeting early when people start doing this. And just like checking your watch or phone, leaning back on your chair just gives an impression that you're not interested. Maybe you're bored. So no matter who it is, always lean forward and look like you're interested, even if you're not. Your handshake. Believe it or not, your handshake could influence people's impression of you. If your handshake is very forceful, people might feel you are aggressive. And if your handshake is too wimpy, they may see you as someone, shy or don't have much expression and probably insecure. So how should you shake hands? Well, very firm, warm, and brief. Try not to squeeze the person's fingers and shake their hands up and down excessively. Oh, and don't hold their hands for too long. Don't know what to talk about? Don't have anything to say? Well, not good. Knowing how to jumpstart a conversation is a very good skill to have. So when you're out and about networking or at a party, jumpstarting that conversation gets you noticed fast. So if you don't know how to start a conversation, well, I suggest you learn. Because for me, it's a lot more awkward to just sit there and not say anything amongst people you don't know. Now that's pretty weird. And don't start talking about yourself. Ask them about them, and they'll automatically start talking to you. Pretend you're interested. Don't forget people's name. Oof, that could be very embarrassing. And you know what? It happens to me. I forget everyone's name when I first meet them, but I've been working on that. And it's even more embarrassing when they remember you. So when you forget people's name and they know it, it just makes them feel unimportant and that you don't value them. So how I've been working on remembering people's name is right when I meet them, I repeat their names a lot of times actually, and it's been working. You can also say something like, "Hi Alex, nice to meet you." This forces you to say their name out loud and it helps you remember it. Not giving enough eye contact or giving too much eye contact. Well, you gotta stay somewhere in between. Let me explain. When you first meet someone and you start looking somewhere else, this can make you appear shy and make it seem like you're not comfortable with the interaction. And also giving too much eye contact can be a little bit creepy and offensive. So where should you place your eyes? Well, experts say that you should keep your eye contact 50% of the time you're speaking. And about 65 to 70% of the time the other person is speaking. Being late. People who arrive late are often seen as unreliable. It actually gives the impression that you're not well organized and you don't value people's time. Neglecting your appearance. Yes, the way you look is actually very important. Some people, and a lot of people I know, don't really care about how they look when they're first meeting someone, but it actually does make a difference. You'll be surprised to know that people pay a great deal of attention on how you look. If you come across like someone who doesn't really care about the way they look, it leaves people with a bad impression of you. And nothing too crazy, just make sure your shirt's ironed nice and neat, and this will actually attract more people to you. Touching your face. Experts say that touching your face during a conversation doesn't really give the impression that you're being thoughtful. it actually gives the impression that you're trying to shy away from the conversation. Touching your face is actually a self-comforting behavior. So if you want to appear calm and confident, keep your hands away from your face. Making noises, like cracking your knuckles, tapping your feet, and so on, can be distracting. If you're tapping your feet, it shows that actually you're nervous and impatient or insincere. It also makes people think that you are probably hiding something. And if you're cracking your knuckles, it's an indication that you feel stressed. Touching your hair. Studies have shown that women touch their hair an average of 18 times a day. Some people might take it as you're trying to flirt. Others might think you are trying to hide your anxiety, discomfort, or self-esteem. So you must definitely try and avoid touching your hair when you first meet someone. I really hope you remember these tips when you meet someone for the very first time. That way, you can leave a very good, long-lasting first impression. For more on Pod With Me, you can go to alexjaguilar.com. Thanks for listening, and don't fall off the pod.